This show is brought to you by Odlums. Hi guys and welcome to episode 12 of the Look and Taste Show. Now in today's show, we've got a really cool recipe with simple lamb cutlets. We're talking to celebrity chef Brian Turner, and if you want to win this little fella here, which is an induction stove that you can plug in separately to your main cooker with thanks to Belling, all you have to do is join our Facebook group. See down below for details if you're already a member. Now first up this week, we got a great little recipe for homemade tomato sauce. Making a simple tomato sauce today, using very few ingredients, but really tasty and simple and quick to prepare. So starting off with the fragrant ingredients, that's some red onions, a little bit of garlic and some thyme leaves. We're just going to sweat those very slowly in a pot. Now as that's happening, we're going to prepare our tomatoes. Crucial step here is to remove the skins from the tomatoes. That's going to keep it velvety smooth whenever we finish by blending the sauce. So pop them into boiling water, literally 10 seconds, straight back out into cold water, cool them down, and once they've come out, you'll see that the skins will peel off very simply. This is a great technique to use for any sauces or soups. It just gets rid of all those little stringy bits of skin that are in there at the end. Now roughly chop your tomatoes, and at this stage your shallots and thyme will have sweated off. Just add the tomatoes in there, and once they start to sort of blend down into a puree, we're going to add in the balsamic and the sugar. The sugar is going to take away any of that natural bitterness. We're also going to season it really well, which is very important with the sauce. Really does bring out that sort of flavour. We're going to add in a little bit of basil, which is very aromatic herb and works extremely well with tomatoes. And once that's done, you should end up, once it's blended, with a delicious, simple, fresh tomato sauce.
Yeah. Well, that's also a difficult question because there are various people for various reasons. In the UK, television-wise and cooking-wise, I think Rick Stein's a good friend of mine, and I have a lot of respect for Rick's love for his produce. But when push comes to shove, I suppose the one person that I really still admire is a gentleman called Paul Bocuse, out of Lyon, France. 80-odd years of age now, done a fantastic job. He's still the man for me. First, I use my grandma's recipe, and the recipe is very simple. It's by volume. So you choose a cup, and into that cup you put plain flour. Tip the plain flour into the bowl, use the same cup, and you put eggs, as many as it takes to fill the cup to the same height as the flour. Pour that into the flour, then it's water and milk mixed together, about half and half, in the same cup, into the bowl, pinch of salt, splash of malt vinegar, beat it all up, and let it sit for half an hour or so. None of the fancy scales, and then you make sure, I use dripping to give it flavour, use little individual Yorkshire pudding tins preferably, stick it in the oven and make sure the dripping gets almost blue haze, very hot. Open the door, pour your mixture in, it goes zzz, evenly round, close the oven door, leave it as high as you can get it for about 20-25 minutes, and they'll go like soufflés. Then you turn it down a bit and just let them sit. You don't want to take them out too early. You don't want to turn the heat down too early, but you need to let them set. Perfect every time. I suppose recently Gino De Campo, he can't cook, right, but he's great with the audience, and the girls love him, and he knows how to work the audience. So he's the most difficult to beat. But young James Tanner's pretty good as well. Yeah.
I suppose it's the personality as well. I suppose.
Just counterfeit. When you get an old man, it's the young guys that take over. I don't wish to be a poo-poo, but I mean, that's been asked before. And so I've got it all sorted out, and it's very simple. And for those that end up hating me, so be it. I would start with a nice portion of fish and chips, fried in Yorkshire. Yorkshire air, Yorkshire batter, Yorkshire friars, to me they're the best. Then I'd have this piece of roast beef I was talking about, rib of beef. Nobody gets the outside cut but me. Yorkshire pudding you've talked about, roast potatoes, boiled potatoes, many veggies you can think of, and a great onion sauce. And then I'd finish off, because I'm going tomorrow, calories no longer count. I'd have steamed suet syrup pudding with custard, clotted cream and ice cream.
It works.
Doesn't matter. And if you're sick, who cares?
Exactly. lamb chops, often thought of as a boring little dinner that you can have. We're going to spice them up and make them real cool today. Start off with your lamb chops. We're going to season. Salt, pepper, and just drizzle with a little olive oil. Just rub them around, and now crucially, hot grill pan, pop them in there, a couple minutes each side. Now we're going to flip that chopping board and make a gorgeous little crust for these little lamb chops. A little pot, knob of butter. Now, a couple of lovely flavours that work brilliantly with lamb. Whole grain mustard, a lemon, and some basil. Pick the basil leaves. And we're just going to roughly chop those. Okay, flip your lamb. Lovely char grill marks. Now the butter frothed up, kind of getting a nutty texture to it. What we want to do is drop in that lovely fresh basil, squeeze of lemon juice, and we're just going to stir in our breadcrumbs. Now finally season, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, lovely little herb crust to sit up on top of those lamb chops. Now this is where it gets super exciting, full of flavour. Whole grain mustard, little spoonful on each chop. The mustard is going to act as the glue that's going to keep the whole dish together. Smear that in. Stuffing, using your hand, on top, generous. Pat it down. Now, that's that done. We're going to pop them into the oven, 3 to 4 minutes until you get that lovely crispy crust on top of the lamb. Now, the lamb out of the oven, crispy, looks absolutely amazing, and we're not going to do anything complicated. We're just going to serve it super simple with a salad. Now, a little bit of rocket, a little bit of olive oil, generous amount of rocket. 3 chops, took literally 10 minutes to make. They're not those boring little simple chops that you're used to. These are packed full of flavour. They're really exciting, and you'll love them this summer. This show is brought to you by Oddlums.